All right, you guys, I appreciate everybody giving me a timeout. It's been a minute. You can tell I've got a lot of gray in my beard now, lots of stress I'm dealing with, wearing a hat, the hoodie, I'm looking a little rough, but getting ready for the year of the Mamba 2024. I don't know if you guys are coining it the year of the Mamba, but that's what I'm calling 2024. It's funny, I'm checking out high schools for my kid, and I did this tour of this building, and it was excited about it. And at the very end of the tour, I'm like, "Oh, so where'd you guys get the building from?" She goes, "Oh, right before Kobe passed, he sold us this building." I'm like, "You should have told me that in the beginning of the presentation." I mean, now I love the school, right? So the year of the Kobe 2024. So next week, reason I'm even saying this is next week, and I'm fairly predictable. Many of you guys know I'm well, he's probably going to do something about planning. And you fail the plan, you plan to fail. He's probably going to do something on planning. And all I'm really going to do next week is give my observations with all the people that I've been coaching and having monthly calls with, and like, what am I seeing? I'm going to share some observations from 2023's planning and, strategic planning. What are your two big focuses for the quarter? I'm going to share some of those thoughts. And I'm hoping that as you guys get ready for the year of the Mamba, that you really take your planning seriously. And again, I think I've got some good information for you guys to share. And I think if you plan it properly, you can certainly plan to succeed. Okay, so that's going to be next week. And more than likely, that'll be the final call of the year. It'll be next week. Other quick announcement, I thought I'd share this. As you guys know, Black Friday's wire, the week of Black Friday has been paid this week. Okay. And so, my goodness, I wake up this morning and, Colleen's getting ready with all her data, in Brennan's, office. And I just want to share this with you because I'm really excited about this. So the week of Black Friday week, so the Fulkerson org did $302,000 in production with 6 owners. It's like, what? Okay, hang on a second. 6 owners got wires. This is paid. This isn't reported. Paid 302 grand. Like, wow. Lenzai has 3 owners in his org. His crew did over $100,000 in production, which is like, Lenzai, I mean, go for it. This is awesome. 84% of the Fulkerson org, between Illinois and Florida, that's really where they're spread out. 84% of reps made over $1,000 in pay. I mean, it's like, wow, 84%. And then 2 records were broke. Just want to share this. So highest wire for the week was held by yours truly until last week. Okay, so 117,000. I was the reigning champ. Like, come on, who can challenge me? Well, Fulkerson blew me out of the water. $162,000 wire is what he got. It's like, wow, 162 grand for one ICL. And he just surpassed the $3 million mark for the year, which means he also has the record for the highest performing owner for the year. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I know a lot of you guys got some pretty big wins from Black Friday week, but I thought that was pretty exciting, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And love the little applause emojis, and I'm sure many people from Brennan's crew will see this video after, and well job to all you guys. They plan so well, they prepare so well. I think if Brennan was on the call, he'd say, you know what, that's kind of what we expected based on how we prepared and planned. And, no big surprises. Not like that big jump in production was a big surprise. Actually, is Brennan on the call? Let me see. Oh, I see your name on the call, Brennan. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm on 2 calls at once. I'm on Sab's call and this call. So I have one earbud in and the other one on my computer. I'm super proud of what we got going on. It was not a surprise. We had been building up to this. But you kind of take the right guys, the right head count, the right situation, and you put it all together. And I was a little sneaky with it. I threw a bonus for the guys leading up to Black Friday. So a bunch of my guys were at crazy numbers going into Friday. So then Friday's production and Saturday's production were obviously what we're going to be great anyways. And it kind of shot that number a little bit higher, but there was a week to do it. It was that week. And so we got a little creative. We did prizes, did a competition, and Yeah, I mean, after paying, just running payroll and everything, we have $72,000 of owner's profit left over. So, pretty, pretty good week.
Merry Christmas, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Yep.
Not bad, Brennan. Not bad. New records. Well, he's the guy to beat now. And so, hey, all these records, just kind of like Wayne Gretzky, he wants Alex Ovechkin to surpass him with the highest goals in the NHL. Like at some point in time, somebody's going to be passing Brennan here with a $5 million wire. I mean, or not wire, but $5 million revenue for the year. It's coming. So, there's never been a better and more exciting time in Sidcor in my 20 some years of existence here.
Yep. I just think our business is going through a renaissance right now where there's a big like awakening and waking up period and people are doing things the right way. And, Sidcor is doing their part to put the right tools and resources in our hands. And, you get the right players with the right tools, good things can happen. So I look forward to the day that this becomes a normal thing and not like a awesome one-time thing. I think collectively we all need to work towards making this a reality for everyone.
I don't know if it's Sandra or anybody else.
Yeah, true that. And you are making it the norm. I mean, every week when I see the reporting, it's like, it's expected. The average rep in your office makes over $1,000 a week. I mean, the average wire is high. You're doing a great job, Brennan. We appreciate you leading from the front and setting the pace for everyone,
For sure. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Exciting times for everyone, no doubt.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, so here's today's call here for you guys. I just wanted to I call this like events of 2024. Just want to prep you for events. And so one thing I've noticed, when it comes to certain events, there's 5 I'm going to touch on for 2024. And I've noticed for 2023 or 2022, 21, 20, just keep going backwards. Some people are at some events, other people at other events. Back in the old days, everyone was expected to be at every event. And so what I'm hoping, really my goal, as I'm about to share this, stuff with you guys, I'm hoping that you guys make the commitment that in 2024, these 5 events that I'm going to run through with you, like you're there. I want you there. Like I don't want somebody to be absent. And I'll tell you this, I call it the island of implosion. Okay. When people get onto an island, any city in the country can become an island if you isolate. And so in our business, when people isolate, when they're not throwing themselves out there, maybe they don't feel great about their business or, I just can't afford to go or whatever, they really start to isolate. It's really the island of implosion. Generally speaking, bad things happen when that happens. Think about, I was telling my son the other day, he went through his first, breakup, with a girlfriend. And I was telling him, I'm like, oh man, I remember one time when, this girl, I'll spare you guys the details of what happened, but I was isolating. And I was in my apartment and I didn't come out. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't know if I was depressed or what was going on, but it took a friend knocking on my door, taking me to a golf course to get me out of my funk. And that was the catalyst to getting out of the funk. Isolation is a real bad thing. And I think COVID, I think we all went through that whole COVID lockdown thing. It was driving most of us completely bananas. And so again, isolation, not a fan of. So I'm hoping, again, in 2024, these 5 events I'm going to walk through here with you, I'm hoping you make a commitment on the front end and I'll see you there. And you do something productive at these events. So let's go through these. So right off the bat, keys to success. Every year, keys. Okay. Keys to me is like the start of the year. I've always looked at key for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. Lots of wheeling and dealing goes down at keys. Lots of markets to get into. Lots of partnership opportunities. Lots of that. All the owners, assistant managers, recruiters are there. This year's keys is combined. It's retail and B2B and res. So there's going to be probably 1,000 people at this event. I'm not even sure where it is. Probably Houston or something like that. But it's the time to wheel and deal. It's the time to learn. Like you show up at keys, with your notepad, with your pen. It's like, listen, I'm going to learn. It's the year of the Mamba. I'm there at Keys. But it represents really the start of the year, the wheeling and dealing, the learning. That's Keys. And at any point in time, as I walk through these 5 events, feel free to stop, ask a question, and let's keep going. But I mean, last year was so interesting. I mean, I got freaky. I got upset. I wasn't at Keys. I turned 50 and I booked a trip to Maui way before Damien booked Keys. And I'm like, dude, you got to change the event. He goes, Jamie, I can't. But that was my first Keys that I missed. And so hopefully some of you forgave me for not being there. But I want to be at all the Keys. I want to be at all the events. Whether I'm on a high or I'm on a low, I'm going to Keys to learn. Okay, so it's not my attendance at Keys isn't dependent on whether I'm up or down. I'm going to Keys. I mean, that's really how I look at it. Okay. Next event on the calendar is going to be NatCon. Now, what's NatCon? Well, NatCon, I look at NatCon like, okay, it's showtime. It's a big show, right? We're showcasing our business. We're courting the new reps. I worked hard to get this stud on my team. I got this stud. Oh man, I love this guy. I want to bring him or her to NatCon, and I want him to fall in love with our business. That's to me what NatCon's all about. And again, my attendance isn't dependent on whether I'm up or down. I'm going to Keys, even if I'm going to Keys with one guy. That one guy could get really turned on. He has a one-on-one with Adam Dorfman, or he has a one-on-one with Brandy. And next thing you know, the guy's like, you know what, dude, I'm going the distance. Years ago, we did a survey with all the consultants because we're asking the question, hey, should we really do NatCon? Because we do it every year and we don't want to do it because that's what we did last year. That's really kind of a bad reason to do anything. So we're like, do we really need to do it? Because the event costs over $1 million. When you add up the cost of everything and then everybody's time and everybody flying in, I mean, it's super expensive to do those events. And one by one, we went around the horn with however many 20 plus consultants. And every consultant, without exception, said that there was an event, there was a NatCon event specifically that came up, that it was at that event that they made the decision to do it. So we're kind of like, well, gee, we kind of have to have these events. So there's never been a year we haven't done NatCon, except I think we did the online version of a NatCon in 2020, obviously for reasons you all know. But that's NatCon showtime. R&R. Oh, okay, R&R, Dominican. It was interesting. This year we probably had, I don't know, it felt like about 50% attendance in Dominican. It was expensive getting there. I mean, my ticket was like $1,300 for a coach class ticket. So it was expensive. So I know a lot of people, oh, gee, the cost, and it's super far to get. I had to do an overnight travel, which is never fun. But R&R is always quadrant 2 time. It's just always quadrant 2 time. It's life in the slow lane. It's important, but it's not urgent. Like, it's funny, every morning I went to breakfast at the same spot, 7 a.m. because I'm always up early anyway. So, hey, and I told him, hey, I'll be there at 7 o'clock. If you want to join me for breakfast, come join me for breakfast. And then, one person at a time. I mean, it was just kind of a neat little morning ritual we had. And it was just life in the slow lane. Dean, I see you on the call. I want to kind of reference you because I remember when I saw the roll call before the event, I'm like, Dean's not going. I'm like, why is Dean not going? Dean's always good about events. And you're like, yeah, I decided not to go, Jamie. It's expensive. And, I don't really need a vacation. I remember that was kind of how you were looking at things. And I'm like, well, Dean, I don't look at R&R like it's a vacation. I mean, it is work, but it's a different kind of work. So you want to give your perspective on Dominican?
Yeah, it was. I remember we were talking on our one-on-one, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go. You're like, are you going to Dominican? I was like, no, I'm not gonna go. My business isn't doing too well. Like, I need to be here, and I already went on vacation this year. I told you, and I was like, yeah, I went. And you're like, well, Dean, this isn't vacation. This is work, man. You're going to work because you want to be around the top performers. You want to just get that mojo. You want to hear what's working for them. And then you got a significant other, like I got married last year. So just getting your wife around these people that you're always working with and, talking about. And so, and it was incredibly valuable, honestly, just going. It was an expensive trip, wasn't the best, way to get there, but we had a blast. My wife was like, this was so fun. She was so glad we went. And then just to get that, that FaceTime with your coaches that usually are doing it on Zoom, just to hang out in person and still have those kind of conversations. It was invaluable. And then getting connected with people that I never would have got connected with. Maybe I would have, but just to meet him face to face, like I met Moriak, this guy's been ripping off 100K wires. And since R&R, him and I have been having like a little monthly, every 2 weeks, like chop it up, one-on-one, just getting some good things from him and getting his mindset. And then what do you know? I come back and my business has been booming since. We ripped off a 22K wire for Black Friday. We're building headcount. Like, so I think it's definitely vital to go to those. There's like a little rocket fuel you get when you come back from those. You're just excited about all the possibilities of that can happen in your business. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
When I think, and I'm so glad you came, and I was, personally, on a personal note, just connecting with Victoria and, hanging out. And I want to apologize publicly for choking in the beer pong tournament finals. Like we got to the finals and then I froze, at the very end, but we had fun. I mean, when I think of all the events throughout the year, there's no other event that you're going to be in a pool party with a bunch of soap bubbles hanging out with Vera for 8 hours in a pool. Like, that ain't happening in NatCon. That's not happening at Keys. Like, again, that's the quadrant 2. Like, everybody's chilling. Everybody's, I don't know. Love that event. Love R&R, like life in the slow lane. It's working time. It's connecting. It's not vacation. It's like, hey, I'm going to level up just in a real slow sort of manner. That's how I look at R&R. So thanks for sharing, Dean. I appreciate that. Fourth event I want to talk about that's should be emailed probably next week. Damien's finalizing it, is the Promoting Owners Meeting. Always one of my favorites, Promoting Owners Meeting. I mean, I just look at it this way: birds of a feather flock together. So assuming I'm a rookie promoting owner, all the big dogs are going to be there. And so it's similar to R&R, not similar to R&R. I guess similar to R&R. You've got the ownership team there, but it's the more elite group. It's a much smaller group. It's probably going to be at head office. So it's probably going to be here in California. But intimate business time. You're wearing your suits. Again, you're not hanging out in a pool party. You're not playing beer pong. You're hanging out with your suits, but you're getting all kinds of good tactical, nerdy information at Promoting Owners Meeting. That meeting should help you level up in a big way, stealing all kinds of quote unquote trade secrets from the Brennan Fulkersons and Justin Hagemans of this world. And then the last one I want to give you is the org events. Now, obviously, Damien's got nothing to do with those org events. And I could also tie in, the regional leaders meetings and stuff like that. But, those are all coming as well. But the org events, to me, if you're in a position where you've got a couple owners on your team now, it's time for you to have an org event, an opportunity to create memories with your guys. I mean, I think Sebastian's great at this area. He gets an A+ rating with this. And I kind of got into his head. I'm like, how do you think about your org events? He says, I always want to have first experiences with my guys. I want to do something where it's something they've never done before. So if the crew has never gone skiing, let's go skiing. If the crew has never gone to Vegas to rent Ferraris and go around a racetrack, well, let's go do that. Like, let's just go do some first-time experiences, because everybody's going to remember that. So I look at org events like, hey, put that on your calendar. Or if you're attending an org event, hey, put that on your calendar. You've got your own little sub-org event happening at the org event, if you will. But you're going to make memories and you're going to strengthen relationships. And I think that's extremely powerful. So those are like the 5 things that I see coming up in 2024 that you want to start penciling in. You want to start plopping those on your calendar, revolving other things around those. Okay. So obviously I'm like, hey, Damien, let's make sure you plan a year in advance so I don't plan my 60th birthday in Maui and then you put a keys together kind of thing. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So they're already planning 2025. So any thoughts, any questions on those 5 events? I'm really looking for 100% participation from everyone, not for me, really for you. Like these are your opportunities to level up. I mean, as Brendan said, there's so much positive momentum right now, and there's so much on the line. I mean, it's $1 million payout when you become a consultant and we hit the 500 million mark. And I can think of 2 guys in particular. I'll probably talk about them a little bit next week when I come to 2024 planning, but Gareth Roberts and Franco Tavera, 2023 has been this. And now they're both sniffing and striking distance of an OC promotion. It's like, it's one thing to have the promotion and congratulations and lots of nice hugs on stage. But hey, Gary, show me the money, man. Give me that first check for $333,333. Like, and there's a lot on the line. I mean, we're talking about you guys, getting houses and things like that. So I want some great positive momentum here with everyone. And I'm telling you, I think those events are critical. So any thoughts, any questions here before we end this call? Stephen, ask your question. I can't see it that well.
Yeah, I know what time Keys and NatCon normally is, but when is the promoting owner event? Like what month is that usually?
Well, last couple of years we've piggybacked that event. Like this last year, we piggybacked in Dominican with that one. So we had the promoting owners weekend, and then we had R&R. So I like that. I think that's a great way to do it. This year, it's been decided that it's going to be its own event. It won't be piggybacked with anything. And it looks like it's going to be in September. So I don't know. I think September 20th rings a bell, something like that. And more than likely, it's going to be in California. And those are fun. I mean, Sidcor wines and dines us at those meetings. It's nice. We're not going to Applebee's. Let's put it that way. Not that there's anything wrong with Apple. I'm listening to Elon Musk book, and when he started, what was it? Either SpaceX or Tesla. They had a lot of business meetings at Applebee's. I'm like, oh, interesting. So again, Damien will secure that and he'll shoot an email out to everybody. Just when those emails come out from Damien, that's your call to action to slap that on your calendar. Okay, so events. And I'll just end with this, unless anybody has any other questions. I'll just end with this. I think it's really important as an owner, as an ICL owner, like you want to be really good. Like I think that's a skill set that's probably not talked about a whole lot. We talk about our interviews and we talk about, sales training, and there's lots of skills you want to, have as an owner. But the skill of great event planning, like just coordinating killer team nights, is wildly important. I mean, that's part of your culture, right? I mean, if I were to ask any owner, I mean, even if I asked owners outside of our business, hey, how important is culture? I mean, they're all going to say, dude, it's wildly important. I mean, why else would somebody want to work here? Like what differentiates us from another company? I mean, there's not a lot, but the culture is really the big differentiating factor in today's economy, that I believe. So I want to have a killer culture. And I think great event planning, even like, charitable things. I mean, once a month, I take the crew to the Boys and Girls Club and do a charitable event. And people would walk away from that like, oh, dude, I feel so good about myself. Like I'm contributing to the community and I'm generating money for a nonprofit. This is great, Jamie. Thanks for inviting me to this. I'm like, that was always part of the culture. So, the better you guys can be with your core leaders. This isn't something you just got to do on your own. You get the smartest brains in the game in your business. You put together some great events for your company and expect your company to thrive. So that's what I have for you guys. Next week, again, 2024 planning, the year of the Mamba. Have yourselves a great rest of the day, y'all. Peace.